Hello, it's Elisa here. So today I'm gonna do a little bit different video, and I'm here I want to take this piece of paper and really explain to you more visually how you can stop actually any habit of your eating disorder. But in this video I will take an example of purging and how you can stop a habit of purging. So I will give my best to explain this to you, and if you see my head popping up, then yeah, I can't do anything about it, and sorry about the audio quality as well. So anyway, so in your eating disorder you have associated eating or just food. These are triggers for you to perform some kind of behavior, and for you these are triggers for purging. So when you eat, these are like triggers for you to purge, and you perform this behavior because of the way our brain is driven by emotions. So purging, in one way, you know that it's not a good thing. You maybe consciously know that it's a very negative habit and everything, but in your brain you have associated purging as something good. So maybe when you purge, you feel in control. Maybe you feel relief, or maybe you feel better. And these all emotions are good emotions, and this is essentially for you like pleasure. And now I want to explain that when you try to recover, and maybe you are eating and you again have this trigger, and you try to stop purging, So you try to recover, you stop purging, maybe you try to wait out this uncomfortable feeling, maybe you try to distract yourself. You try to distract yourself of not purging, but this kind of behavior, it triggers some kind of bad feeling. Maybe you feel fear, you feel anxiety, you feel worry, you feel guilt, and just you feel very uncomfortable. And in your brain, by not purging, you feel pain. And the way our brain works is that I will try to draw a brain, so it looks like an apple, but actually it's a brain. So this is your brain, and our brain has like two primarily driving emotions, and these emotions are pleasure and pain. So our brain wants to avoid pain, and it wants to gain pleasure. So these kind of emotions are our brain's driving emotions, and this is why essentially we do something. And in your brain you have associated purging as something you gain pleasure from, and not purging as something you experience pain from. And this is why you do it. But to recover, the first step would be that you have to do this. You have to replace pleasure with pain and pain with pleasure. So you have to switch these kind of emotions. So, and what it means is that when you think about purging, then you associate purging with pain. And when you think about not purging, then you associate this with some kind of pleasure. And this is essentially, like, this is how I was able to stop purging in my eating disorder, and when I started to recover, because when I thought about purging, I started to associate so much pain to my eating disorder. And for example, I knew that if I purge now, I will only trigger next binging. So I will only continue binging, because when you purge, you continue binging. It triggers another binge episode. And I also started to associate purging with that I will always have eating disorder when I purge. So always have eating disorder, and this was massive pain. Another pain was that I was afraid that if I purge, then I will continue to waste my life away. So waste my life, because if I continue purging, I will continue to have eating disorder, and I can waste my life like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to my eating disorder basically. And I knew that if I purge, then this equals pain, and I will continue to have all this kind of pain. And in my brain, I started to associate not purging and maybe waiting out or doing something else or distracting myself. I started to associate this act with pleasure. So for example, I knew that if I don't purge, then actually I can recover. I can recover if I don't purge. Even if I overeat, even if I binge eat, as long as I eat enough and don't compensate by purging, I can recover and my hunger can calm down. So yes, the other thing was that if I don't purge, then my hunger can calm down. Then after a while, if I don't purge, then my hunger will reduce. The extreme hunger will reduce. Otherwise, it simply can't. Yes, and I can stop the binge and purge cycle. Stop cycle. So I will repeat myself. So as you can see, in my recovery, I completely changed these kind of responses. So purging in my recovery equaled pain, not pleasure anymore. Purging equaled with all of this like pain. I will always continue binging. I will always have eating disorder. I will continue to waste my life away. And this is the first step why I was able to stop responding to the food trigger with purging, because how my brain works. I associated more pleasure to not purging and waiting out. And the next step is that I think now you're gonna see my face or my head a little bit. So the next step would be that we have to interrupt this pattern, like this pattern. We have to interrupt the pattern. And how you do it, it can be either you are just waiting out. So when you eat food, you have this uncomfortable feeling, you simply wait it out and know that nothing happens. And you can also have some kind of distraction. So you break this pattern, purging, by waiting out and having some kind of distraction. Maybe you call your friend, maybe you go and take a walk, maybe you clean your house or something. Some kind of distraction so you can wait out this period. And I now want to explain how our brain, like the neurons in our brain, are fired. So let's say this is your eating disorder. This is your eating disorder, and these are the nerves in your brain right now when you have bulimia, you are binging and purging. So in your brain, this is eating thing, and let's say this is like not purging, and this neuron is purging. And in your brain, when you have eating disorder, you have strong connection here. Like this is the pattern your brain follows. The more you repeat this kind of pattern, the more stronger it gets every time. And you don't even have maybe here any connection in your brain, not purging. Like in your brain, when you eat, it triggers purging. It's the most easier pattern for your brain to follow. But for normal eater, like this is also how I am today. Like when I have these same brain connections in my brain, this is eating, this is not purging, and this is purging. In my brain, it's fired like this. My brain is fired like this. It was fired like this before, but now it's fired like this. And that's why I don't have any desire to ever purge again. I have changed my brain. I have rewired my brain or reprogrammed my brain. And this is what you need to do as well. So how to do it? I would just, so here's that, just like a separator so it can be more clear. So let's say you start to interrupt this pattern by waiting out and distraction. So you stop purging essentially. And the way you do it is, let's say this is like week one. And this is, let's say, it's like 3 months. Because it can take like up to, I would say like 100 days to really make sure that you have broke the pattern. So you have to repeat this kind of behavior, maybe like, yeah, even like 100 days to be sure. So week one for you, I would do the same kind of thing. So this is eating, this is not purging, this is purging. Maybe week one you are still purging, maybe sometimes, but maybe few times you are able to wait it out and not purge after eating. Week two, yeah, same thing. I'm not even gonna write this so it's quicker. So maybe here you have progressed. Maybe it's only like few times you purge, and it happens that maybe even more times you are able to wait it out now. Week four, same thing, same neuron connections, and maybe here you're just doing it like few times or just one time or something, and here the connections are more strong, and here maybe it's like the same thing, and maybe this is like happened very infrequent, maybe just once a month or whatever. And here, like this connection is so strong, and 3 months, then you are only waiting out. You are only waiting out, never purging. And this pattern is interrupted, and it's not even automatic anymore. You have switched off this pattern essentially. And this is how you can be normal. So you have interrupted the pattern. And the way our neurons work is that the less you practice one kind of behavior, the more you start to forget about it. And the more you practice the good behavior, let's say like waiting out and everything, the more normal it becomes and more easier over time. Here it can be very tough, week 1, week 2, maybe even week 4, but here 2nd month, 3rd month, it's already like so easy, and here you don't even have the trigger maybe anymore. And yeah, so this is how you can stop the purging habit. Yeah, and also about the pain and pleasure, it's very important to make this association in your brain that purging equals pain and not purging equals pleasure, because if you don't change it, then it's way too easy to go back to purging, and you kind of start to like self-sabotage yourself because you fully don't understand why you want to break the habit in the first place. So first, the step has to be that you have to fully understand why purging equals pain and why not purging equals pleasure. So why you do it. And as I said, the more you repeat it, the easier it becomes. And after week 4 and 2 months and 3 months, then you already notice so many other benefits. The more you do it, the more you don't purge, you notice so many other benefits. Maybe you see that your hunger is calming down, maybe you see that you are recovering, maybe you see that your like binging is fading away, maybe you just feel happier, maybe you feel like more like yourself again. So you only make this association, this pleasure, you only make it stronger as time goes by. You make it even stronger. You make this connection even stronger as time goes by. And this is why eating disorder recovery takes time, and it's not an overnight thing. But the more you do it, the recovery, not purging, the easier it will become. So so I will finish the video now, and I hope you really like it, and tell me what you think, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in my next video. Bye!